Good morning, welcome to Pilates. Let's get going. So come up into standing if you're not already. Let's take our feet under our hips, soften through the knees and just breathe. So roll through the shoulders. And just taking a moment to notice your body. Small movements to start with. Notice your body, head, face, neck, shoulders, arms, fingers, chest, belly, shoulders, shoulder blades, lower back, hips, pelvis, thighs, knees, shins and calves, ankles, feet all the way around and toes. Okay, let's make that movement into one shoulder roll. So one shoulder only, and let's just make it slowly, make it slow, even. So rolling up, back and down, just letting that arm dangle for now. So just coming into some mobilisation before we start going into some bigger movements. So really sending the arm down behind you and then the other one. How does that feel? Really notice. Breathe. So let's not rush today. Take it nice and gentle. That's not to say that the moves aren't more challenging, but let's take our time to really notice and feel. Okay, let's bring the elbows in now. So elbows lead. So lift the elbows up, back and down. And then start to notice how that feels into the shoulders and maybe into the ribs. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. And you can see that I'm lifting my forearms, my hands come up and over. So it's not just shoulders, it's elbows too. Oh, any crunches going on? Okay, let's just come to one arm. So one arm comes over and behind. Take your time. So your palms in. As you reach the top, the palm faces out. Slowly, purposefully, breathing, noticing. I can see a little bit of sunlight shining through the top of the door window. It's quite nice after all the rain. Breathing. And then I want you to really start to take a look over your shoulder. So that rotation through the ribs, the waist, eye gaze behind you now. So working through the whole of the top body, top half of the body. Fabulous. Lovely. And then let's just swing and wrap those arms, dangle the hands, soften those knees. Just let them flop down by your sides, releasing through the shoulders. Just releasing, letting them go. And then let's just do a little bit of shoulder work before we come onto the floor. So sending the arms into a big circle. Just interlinking the fingers, soften the knees, tuck the chin down and pull the belly in towards your spine. Tuck the bottom under, think about pelvic floor. Everything's really tight, but you're still breathing. Stretching across the shoulder blades. Still breathing, just feel that tension across the back of the shoulders and then release, lifting into that neutral position. Hands come back and again interlink. Press them back but also press them down. So back and down, knees are soft. Take your eye gaze just slightly up to the ceiling. A little stretch. Imagine that diagonal line from the fingers to the forehead, the top of the forehead now. Keep breathing. And release. I love this one. Fingers link again in front. Send your hands to me. Pull your chin back. Press the hands to me. Chin comes back. Feel that lovely stretch into the shoulder girdle. Press and pull, press and pull. Almost as if your shoulder blades are separating. And then release. Lovely. And then let's just allow the head to come to one side. Keep those knees soft. Just take that hand, opposite hand, and just apply a gentle pressure for a lovely stretch into the neck. You can wiggle, jiggle the other fingers if you want to. And then press that hand away. So opposite hand presses down towards the skirting board, down towards the corner of the room. So palms are kind of pointing down. Fingers, I'll show you from the side. See? So fingers press down and away. And then bring that hand in, let go of the head. Just release as we lean the head to the other side. So relax the shoulders, drop the shoulders right down first, and then drop the head. Take the other arm, gentle pressure. If that's enough, stay there. Otherwise, send the hand, press those fingers away. Actively push them right out towards as if you're trying to reach the skirting board. Pelvic floor still maintained. Knees are still soft. Lovely. And then let's come into hand. Comes to the same shoulder. We're going to reach down towards the middle of the shoulder blades. You can hold with the other or just press slightly with the other arm. A little press. Keep breathing. Lift through the chest rather than the head. And then release. Slowly, other side. Hand comes to the shoulder. Lift the elbow. Wiggle the fingers down. Use the other hand if you need to just send it back and then lift through the chest again. Breathe. Lovely. And then lower. Okay, a little bit of faster movement. So we're just going to start bending the knees. Just swinging the hands. Nothing too deep at the moment. We're going to move on to that. So just like a little monkey swing. So feet are planted firmly. Toes are spread out on the floor. Breathe. And then we're going to make it bigger. So we're going to reach a little bit further and let the hands come behind you. Get in your body. Just flowing, warmed up a little bit more. Get your heart rate going. Lovely. And then hold it there. Well done. Roll through the shoulders. You should feel invigorated. Coming into a march. Lifting one heel, then the other. Just keeping the feet on the floor. Bringing it down. To a gentle march, getting your breath back if you were puffed out. And then we're going to start to just roll down gently. So I'm going to come to the side. Actually, I'm going to stay here and I'll watch you. So you know how to roll down. Take your time. Head dangles. Feet are under hips. And please do, if you have an ache anywhere, so I can feel it here, if you need to stay there for a moment, you can. We'll be here for a few minutes. So really take your time and don't just do the movement because I've asked you to. Feel it. And if you get a little tweaky bit, hold it there. You can wiggle your hips side to side. You can maybe rest your hands on your legs and just work through it. Through any stiffness, any discomfort, and then use the muscles in your core to pull you back up. Roll through the shoulders and go again. And it might be that you start with just your shoulders, and that's fine. Or you might be able to come straight down. It depends what you've already done in your day already. If you've just got out of bed, you might need a bit more time. If you've been up doing all your housework, walking the dog, you might be lovely and mobile. So keep going. Remember that head dangles. The hands are away from the thighs, away from the legs. And you really use the belly to lift you. Think about all that strength it needs to lift. Roll at the top. Take a moment if you need to before you roll back again. So rolling down. And then we're going to go last time, wherever you are in that movement. Roll down last time and just hold it there at the bottom, wherever that is for you. Can you take your weight further onto the balls of the feet? Spread your toes out. Just for a moment, spread the toes out, take the weight onto the balls of the feet and then back onto the heels. Lift the toes. Lift the heels slightly. Lift the toes. Lift the heels. And just hold. Allow the head to dangle. Just let it be heavy. If you need a block under your hands, that's fine. Whatever you need. We'll come into a hamstring stretch straight away though, so let's walk the knees. So bend one knee, straighten the other, and let's alternate. So bend and straighten. Just very gently, very slowly. Take your time. Stretching. And then try and lift the bottom up. Try and push the hip up, the back of the hip. As you straighten the knee, send the hip upwards. Straighten the other knee, send the hip upwards. And you should feel a stretch up the back of the leg, maybe behind the knee. And then we're going to walk out onto your hands and knees and sit back in child's pose. And have a big fat stretch. Just take your time. Try to press the bottom back. Try to get length from the bottom, the base of the spine to the fingers. If it helps to take the knees wide, toes together, then try that. Try and separate the knees a little bit more. And just enjoy that position just for a few moments. Try and work the armpits down towards the floor. Is your chest on the floor or are you nowhere near? It doesn't matter. If you notice it and maybe write it down later, it's a good measure of your flexibility. Okay, press the hands down to allow you to push your bottom down towards the floor a little bit more. So actively pressing the tailbone down towards the floor. And then release. And we're going to do that again in a second. So just release, feel the hips, and then another press. So use that force against the hands to press the bottom down, tailbone down towards the floor. And get a lovely stretch through the shoulders, and then release. Roll onto your backs, grab your bands, and let's do a hamstring stretch. Lovely. So we used to do this every week, didn't we? All the time. So let's do this again. And we have just stretched the hamstrings, but let's do it again. So lying on your back. Band comes underneath the centre of the foot. And start with the other leg, knees bent, foot is flat on the floor. And we add a bit of tension through the band, flex the foot, and then draw the foot closer towards the head. And the heel presses up towards the ceiling, so it's in a straight line. If you want to, you can then straighten off, extend the other foot, so you've got a long leg. The most important thing here is that that leg up in the air, your knee is straight. If that means you have to lower it down a little bit, then that's fine, but that's better. It's better for you to lower it down and bend the other knee and have a straight leg than have it right up close to your body with a bent knee, because you don't get a stretch at all. And just take your time with this. Stretching the muscles takes time. We can't just think that they're going to stretch straight away. They need time to warm and lengthen, so they should be nice and warm, but we need time to let them lengthen. Sometimes it helps to take a breath in and then try to draw it a bit closer to you, but not. See how you feel. Okay, now we're going to take it across the body, just an inch or two, not far at all. We're stretching the outside edges of the hip, the thigh, down the IT band. You might feel that into the groin. You can always let it go and let it come closer to the floor rather than closer to the body if it's uncomfortable. And then we're going to take it back to the centre and out for a couple of inches, that's all. We're not going right out to the side here. We're just stretching around the hip joint. And then let's swap sides. So take the other foot into the band, bent knee foot to start with. How does that feel on the other side? Does it feel better? Tighter? Same? Take your time. When it's stretched a little bit, you can start to draw it a little bit closer if that knee is straight. You can start to straighten off, extend the other leg. And we'll be coming to scissor later. Is it scissor or cycling? I can't remember what I've written down. So with that breath, will that leg come closer? Remember, technique is more important than that position. So nice straight leg. We've got waggy tails there and everything. It's lovely to see her again. And then we're going to send the leg across the body, just a couple of inches. This is great for your grip strength too. Holding on, gripping the band is just fantastic for your finger strength, your hand strength. And I've noticed that I would be the one in the house that would open all the jars. Not now. So it's really important that we work on it. Okay, back to the centre and just out a couple of inches, that's all. If it's too much, let it go. And just almost let the hip flexors just relax and go. Okay. Bring the feet in. Wrap the band around both feet and hug the knees in to the chest. Lovely. Keep hold of your band. We're going to pop the band over your shins. Have a breath. So we're coming into tabletop. Now you can pop your feet down if you need a rest. Pop your feet down and then come into half tabletop, full tabletop. The band goes over. We're going to take hold of the ends. The knees are over the hips. We're going to lift the shoulders and the head off the floor. And we're coming into 100. So we're going to, I'll let you count your 100, but you're going to press the hand down with that resistance of the band. And you're going to keep those shins, knees still in full tabletop. So try and keep the legs still. brace the belly, brace the core, pelvic floor. Remember all of those things you've got to keep tucked in and tensed. If you need to turn your head to one side, if it's tough through your neck, turn your head to one side. I'm not counting. You are. Keep breathing. Pull the belly into the spine. I'm just watching you for when to stop because I can't count and talk. So we must be nearly done, girls. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Mary's done. Good. Right, done. Hug your knees in when you're done. Was that 100 or 200? It felt like 200. I obviously haven't done it for a while. Well done, girls. Breathe. And then pop your bands down to the side. We're going to come into single leg circles. So we're going to start by just bending one knee, planting the leg, the foot on the floor. And we're going to slide the other leg away and point the foot, point the toes to about 45 degrees. And we're going to start to make a circle. So outside, towards the floor, to the midline, across the midline, up to the starting point and keep going. So slowly, controlled, this is not fast. Press down through your supporting foot. Notice your hip. Notice the muscles in your leg. You're not going out too far. Just a circle. Larger than a dinner plate. Keep going. And then let's reverse the direction. Slowly and controlled. So the thing here is point the toe, slow it down. Slow it down. So I'm going to count. I'm going to let you know my circle. So I'm at the top. I'm coming down the centre. I'm going to the floor. I'm coming out to the edge. I'm coming around. And I'm at the top of my circle. So it's that slow, okay? Super slow. Breathe in. Keep breathing. Let's reverse direction again. That's it. Keep going. And then hug your knees into the chest. Good. Lovely. We're going to swap sides and then we're going to do it all again. So, other foot on the floor. Other foot, other leg extended. Toes are pointed. And let's start to make that circle slowly. And try to keep your bottom on the floor. So what you should feel is the back, your sacroiliac, kind of the back of your pelvis on the floor. And as your leg drifts to the side, you'll feel one side, the opposite side, lift. I want you to make sure both you're even, you're grounded on the floor, and don't let that side lift up. Actively push it down. So lots to think about. Slowly, slowly. So still about, if it's too much in like 45 degrees, you can always lift your leg higher up to the ceiling. So that's your adaptation. And we're going to make it harder in a moment. So, okay, let's reverse direction. How does that side feel opposed to the other side? Slow it down. Slow it down. Everything pulled in as usual. Keep breathing. And then one more reverse direction. Slowly, super slow. Nice pointed toes. Fabulous. And then hug the knees in. Okay, so hopefully that's okay. So we're going to do the same again, but we're going to come into half a tabletop. So that leg that you were working, pop your feet down. The leg you were working comes into half tabletop. Plant your hands on the floor. Press the fingers down into the floor. Lift the other leg, straighten, extend, and let's come into a smaller circle this time. So you shouldn't feel your hips necessarily lifting off, but it might be tougher. Really brace through the core here. Use your breath slowly. So a smaller, slow circle. Small. If you need to rest out, yeah, stretch your legs out. Have a full body stretch. We'll come into that. Reverse direction. Breathe. Breathe through it. Lovely. Reverse direction one more time. Eek. Keep breathing. You're nearly done. Is your legs still in half tabletop? Bend the knees in. Hug them into your chest. Well done. Still got the other leg to go. Okay, let's pop the feet down. That leg that you were just working, tabletop, half tabletop, other leg extends. So if you want to make it harder, you can drop your foot down. If you want to make it easier, just lift it. Otherwise, 45 degrees. Press those fingers into the floor to keep your balance, to keep that stability. Brace the core, brace those abs to give you extra stability. Nice slow circles. Just a single leg circle. Smaller than the first lot. As slow. So nice and slow. Don't let that knee drift into your body. Try and keep your knee over your hip still. Let's reverse direction. How are your quads? Have you got the shakes yet? Keep breathing. I'm speeding up, but I'm trying not to. So try not to speed up. As it gets harder, we want it to go. So we speed up and we want it to go faster. So hug your knees in. Oh, well done. Breathe. And just rock side to side. Lovely. Pop your feet on the floor, but pop the soles of your feet together and just allow your knees to drop to the side. Just giving your hips a bit of a stretch into the groins. And just let them rest. It just allows you to recover into the hips and the lower back. Okay, walk your feet out and then bring your knees together. And knees together, feet out. Lovely. Now we're going to come into rolling like a ball, if you can. Now I'm not going to do it because of my rib, so I'll direct you without doing it if that's okay. So how do we do that? So come into sitting, hug your knees. You can take your hands underneath your thighs if you'd like to, or you can hold around your knees. And actually I will try it, we'll see. We're going to roll back slowly, so kind of roll in a little, so allow your spine to come into a C shape. So tuck your chin in, roll, and as you come up to sitting, try to maintain the balance at the top of the movement. Lovely, Jane, fab. And then you roll back again. As you come back up, can you hold it, hold it, hold it? Lift through the chest, send the elbows out, hold that, lovely. And then roll back again. Little bit of a massage through the back. Keep going. Keep going a few times. Lovely. That's it. Use momentum to get you back up. You might get a bit of wind, but I can't hear you from here. So as Helen says, let the wind go free. And then just come into a seated position. And let's come into a bit of a spine stretch here. How was that? Are you okay? Good. Lovely. Oh, so sit upright, sit on your sit bones. And then we're going to just drop the head. So like the roll down. Allow your chin down towards your chest. And just allow your hands to reach towards your ankle, your shins, your ankles. Drop your head. And just feel that stretch into the spine. Use your hands to grip, but send your elbows down towards your knees for a bigger stretch into your spine. It kind of just helps you to lower your body down towards your knees a little bit more. And breathe. Feel the breath. Feel the back of the ribs expanding. The sides of the ribs. And the front of the ribs, maybe pressing against your thighs. Okay, and we're coming back onto our backs. And we're coming into double leg stretch. So, slightly different though. So we start with legs out, both legs out. And we're going to start with our hands by our sides. We're going to lift the legs one at a time. You can do this one leg at a time if you want to, or as a single leg stretch, and add the arms if it's too much for your back or you're not used to it, or double leg stretch. So we take both legs up to 45 degrees. We lower them. We take the hands overhead. Circle the arms by the side. Bring the knees in. Hands come towards the knees, and we lift the shoulders. As the legs press away, hands come overhead, around. As the knees come towards the body, hands come to the outside of the knees. Shins, etc. So reaching out, it's almost like a full body stretch, but with the legs in the air, the feet in the air. And press away. Hands come around in a circle. Reach, lift the shoulders, press away. Brace the core. Breathe. Press away. So nice and slowly and controlled. Let's do a couple more if you can. And last one. Feet down. Send the legs away. Send the hands over the body, overhead. Press the toes away. Allow the shoulders to just rest. Breathe. Lovely. Just take your time. Have a little rest. Okay, and we're going to come up to sitting again. Take your time to come up. Are we okay? We're coming to store. So lots of up and down today. feet are nice and wide. Again, sit on your sit bones. Breathe. Relax the shoulders down. So drop your shoulders down. Relax the thighs here. So we quite often tense the thighs up. And let's just start to prep for this movement. So start to just take one hand behind you, one hand to the knee. And then lift the chest. You can press down on that hand behind you to help to lift the shoulders and the chest. And then release, come to center, and then lift again. Relax the thighs. Pull through the belly and lift and open. And then let's take a turn to the other side. So hand comes behind you, other hand to the knee or the outside of the knee. And then press down on that hand to lift through the chest. And then to center. Okay, hands come out. So palms are down. We take a turn and just start small if you need to. Hand aims towards the outside of the ankle. The back hand lifts above you, behind you. And then we lift and come to the starting position. Breathe. As you breathe away, the hand comes to the outside of the ankle. Other hand presses away to the back of the room. And then lift. It helps if you breathe in here. And as you turn, it helps to breathe out because you've got more room when your lungs are deflated. Relax those thighs. If we tense them, the knees drift up. Relax the shoulders. So lots to think of. Can you send the back of the hand to the outside edges of the ankle? Can you press the other bum cheek onto the floor a little bit more? I need to take 2 breaths. Can you reach a little bit further? So your fingers almost reach your heel or beyond, or the center of the foot and beyond. Lift. And breathe. Lovely, let's go again, let's keep going. If you've got a sore shoulder, you can just take that hand behind into your lower back rather than lengthening through the arm. It just takes the tension off the shoulder as you have a shorter lever. And let's do one more each side. Is it getting easier? Do you feel more length? Do you feel more mobility? And rest in the center. Oh, you look like a little ballerina there, Jane. Let's take the hand to one side and just reach over, just stretching out those ribs, the spaces in between the ribs, those intercostal spaces. They get a bit sticky and a bit tight. And then come forwards and out of that move. Let's take the other hand down, take the hand over your head. Just allow that elbow to bend. And reach in, trying to lift through the ribs, kind of under the shoulder, and then leaning forwards. Let's do one more each side. So hand comes up and over. So I'm actively trying to lift, like the side where my bra is, and under the armpit, and feel that lengthening, that opening through the rib cage, and forwards and down out of that stretch. Other hand lifts, bend through the elbow, lift and press away, and come forwards. Lovely, great. We're going onto our tummies, onto our bellies, and we've got a couple of movements here to do. And one of them is quite nice. Well, I like both of them because you know I like being on my belly. So forearms are on the floor. Let me move that. Forearms are on the floor. And we're going to kick. So knees come towards each other. If you can get them together, lovely. If not, if it doesn't feel right, then just knees kind of hip width apart. And we're literally going to flex the foot. As we flex the foot, we kick towards the bottom and then point the foot down. Other side, kick and release. Kick, release, kick, release. So think strong shoulders. It's not just a leg exercise. Think strong shoulders. So push down on the arms, lifting the chest away. And what happens is we kind of sink into our shoulders. Press. So press the head upwards so you have length through the neck and into the shoulders. So it's a kick, point, working the glutes, the hamstrings here, lower back, kick, kick. So just one at a time. We can really focus on that kick. Now let's do two. So kick, kick, point the toes and drop. Kick, kick, point the toe and drop. Kick, kick, point and drop. Lovely, keep going. Kick, kick, point, kick, kick, point, kick, kick. Lovely, good. Okay, let's come into, I was going to do swan dive, but we won't. Let's come into bridge. So we're going to roll over. Take your time. And we're going to just work your way up to that bridge. So set yourself on the floor, even. Notice your body, feet hip width, and walk your heels towards your bottom. Trying to keep your knees level and not knocking in or out. You're going to start by coming into that pelvic tilt. Just lift and lower, just small amounts. Squeezing the bottom, feeling the spine imprinting onto the floor. One vertebrae at a time. And I say that, and I hope you don't kind of go, oh yeah, one vertebrae at a time. I really want you to feel the spine and it's hard, you won't feel each vertebra, but imagine that placement of all the different areas of the spine, lifting and lowering. So from the sacrum, lumbar, thoracic, and then you don't quite come to cervical. When you lift right onto the shoulders, you're at the top of your game. I'm going to not do this anymore. I'll let you do it. So I want you to start coming into a higher bridge then. So lifting, squeezing at the top, and then just hold it at the top of the bridge if you can. So roll up to that bridge, lift up, squeeze at the top, hold for about 8. And then we're going to add on. So do that a few times, 2 or 3 times, so that you roll up, hold for 8, and then lower down slowly. Try not to clunk down. And when you're at your third, or your second, whichever one you want to be at, you're going to hold it up. You're going to lift, extend one leg. So extend one leg whilst holding that bridge. So big squeeze at the bottom, lovely. Extend the leg so the knees are level. If you want to go higher, you can, but knees level, great. Bring the foot back down and then lower down onto the floor. So take your time. Come back into that bridge. So reset your feet. Come up into the bridge. Lift, lift, lift. Pelvic bridge. Pelvic tilt, sorry, into the bridge. Then we're going to lift the other leg Point the toes, big squeeze, squeeze the bottom, keep the hips up high, lower that leg down, foot comes to the floor, slowly lower down into that, out of the bridge. And again, so alternating legs, but really taking your time to focus on that bridge. As you lift the leg, you keep the hips high, you keep both the hips at the same height, big press of the toes, lower the foot down, and then you lower down again. Brilliant, you look lovely. Make sure you've done both sides. So do it another couple of times if you can. Lovely. Big squeeze at the bottom as you come up. Lower down. And then that's it. Fabulous. Pop your feet down. Couple more bridges, just plain bridges to finish. Just lift and lower. Lift and a big squeeze. Can you press your hips even higher? Lower down. And last one more bridge. And then we're going to roll over onto our sides. So take your time. Coming over onto your sides, onto your elbow, and straight legs. Straight legs to start with, but we're going to bring the legs to 45 degrees. Hand is placed in front of you, palm down, and we're going to lift the top leg, and we're going to come into a kick, front and back. So it looks like kick to the front, bring it back, and a squeeze, and then come back to center and hover. Then we move into, it's like a double kick, come back, squeeze, reset. Double kick, come back to center. Now try not to let your hips roll back or forwards. Use this hand on the floor to keep that stability. Squeeze at the back. So it's that double kick, toes pointed, come back, double kick, and back. Okay, this time we're going to change. We're going to flex the foot at the front, flex, flex, point as you come back to center. Flex the foot, kick, kick, point the toes at the back, and kick, kick, come back, kick, kick, come back, and last time, kick, kick, and back. Oh, I feel like we need one more. That doesn't feel even. Kick, kick. There, that's better. Okay. And then you need to roll over or flip. Whichever you prefer. I'll flip so I can see you. Lovely. Onto the other elbow. Feet, legs, 45 degrees. Nice long legs. Working the top leg first. So place that hand on the floor. Hips stacked one on top of the other. And just start with that pointed foot. And then take it back. Just getting that feeling really. And then a double kick. And then send the foot back. Double kick. Send it back. And then we're going to change. So it's that flexed foot, kick, kick, and point as you come back. Flex foot. Nice straight leg if you can at the front. Kick, kick with a straight leg. Point and back. Keep going. You got 3 more. 2 more. And last one. And how are we doing? Oh, and then roll over onto your backs for some relaxation. But we'll do a little stretch while we're at before relaxation. So on your backs, take your arms wide. Lift one knee, then the other, and just take your knees to one side. Pin your shoulders to the floor. Eye gaze goes to the opposite way of your knees. If you want to extend that top leg, if you've got room, you can. You can hold on to your toe if you want to for an even bigger stretch, which is lovely. It's a wonderful stretch. Try and keep that shoulder on the floor and relax the other foot. And then slowly uncurl yourself. Bring your knees to the other side. Arms are wide. Eye gaze to the other direction. Settle in that position. And then you can straighten the leg. Reach with the toes. And drop that foot on the floor if you want to. And then gradually uncurl. Settle in your favourite position. Grab a blanket or a cushion. And just breathe. It's nice if you're on the floor to just have your palms up. Take all that tension away from your fingers. If your legs are extended, allow the toes to just drop out to the side. And just take some long, slow breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just come back to noticing your body again. How does it feel? Does it feel stretched? Does it feel like you've worked your muscles? Does it feel good? Or is it uncomfortable? Hopefully it feels good. Our bodies are always work in progress. Just notice your breath. Can you hear your breath? Can you hear yourself breathing? And just notice that breath into the ribs. Notice how the ribs expand as you breathe in. Notice how they return as you breathe out. On the next breath out, take a moment longer to allow that breath out. Almost like a pause at the end of the breath. It really helps your body to calm down, to relax and recover. So listen for your breath and feel your breath. And then feel how your body is touching the floor, your feet or your heels, the backs of the thighs. Feel all those pressure points on the floor. Just notice and be grounded by them. Listen and feel your breath again. Just notice, and then notice the sounds around you. The hustle and bustle of the day, maybe, or the silence. Notice and enjoy. And then move your body, move your toes, move your fingers, maybe have a stretch, and then bring your feet in towards your bottom and come onto your side. Come up to a seated position. Whatever position you prefer. Let's roll shoulders. And let's take our hands just on the floor behind us. Oh, I imagine it's really hot in the sun. Face up to the sun. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. It's like a big stretch, isn't it? And then come back to seated. Open your eyes, or give yourself a round of applause, and well done. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you all next week if you're watching back. Take care.